Hi my dear friends, welcome to Venus EduTech. In this video, we are going to discuss the previous year questions from the chapter Real Numbers. That is the questions which have been asked in 2018 and 2019 CBSE board exam. So without wasting time, let's discuss the questions. First, we can discuss 1 mark questions, right? First question, find a rational number between root 2 and root 3. Find a rational number between root 2 and root 3. Which is that number? Rational number. See, root 2 is equal to, we know that what is its value? Root 2 is 1.414. If you don't know, you must know the value of root 2 and root 3. Root 2 it is 1.414 and root 3 is 1.732. So between 1.4 and 1.7 we can take any values. 1.5 or 1.6 or any values in between root 1.4 and 1.7 you can choose. So either 1.5 or 1.6 or any number between this one and this one. So we can take 1.5. So a rational number between root 2 and root 3 is 1.5. Friends, going to the second question. Two positive integers a and b can be written as a is equal to x cube y square and b equal to xy cube, where xy are prime numbers. Find LCM of AB. So we have to find the LCM of AB. How to find the LCM of AB? We know the formula. LCM of two numbers is equal to product of the greatest power of each prime factor involved in the numbers, right? So what is the answer? Here we know that given A is equal to x cube y square and B is equal to xy cube, right? Now we have to find the LCM of AB. LCM of AB is equal to product of the greatest power of each prime factor involved in the numbers. So what are the prime factors involved in the numbers? Here x cube y square and xy cube. In case of x, which is the greatest power, x cube, right? And in case of y, which is the greatest power, y square or y cube, right? So x cube y cube is the LCM of AB given in the question. Friends, next question. What is the HCF of the smallest prime number and the smallest composite number? Here, the two numbers are not given. We have to find those two numbers, right? Got it? We have to find the HCF of the smallest prime number as well as the smallest composite number. So, which is the smallest prime number? Is it 1? Is 1 a prime number or a composite number? We discussed in one of our classes that 1 is 1 a prime number or a composite number? Yes friends, 1 is not a prime number as well as it is not a composite number. We studied that. Don't forget this. 1 is neither prime nor composite. We studied this, right? In one of our classes. 1 is neither prime nor composite. If you don't know, you must study this. 1 is not a prime number as well as not a composite number. We discussed why 1 is neither prime nor composite. So go to that video, right? And here the question is find the HCF of the smallest prime number. Then which is the smallest prime number? Yes friends, it is 2. So we know that smallest prime number is 2. And what about smallest composite number? What is the smallest composite number? You know the difference between prime number and composite number, right? We discussed all such terms. So smallest composite number it is 4. And 4 can be written as 2 into 2, which is equal to 2 square, right? And here smallest prime number is 1. So we can write prime factors. Prime factors of 2 is, we know, 1 and 2, right? And what about prime factors of 4? Prime factors of 4 are 2 square and 1, right? Got it? Prime factors of 2 are 1 and 2 because 1 and itself, 1 and 2, that means 2 is a prime number. And smallest composite number is 4, which can be written as 2 square because 2 into 2 it is 4. So 2 square and 1. Now the question is the HCF of the smallest prime number and the smallest composite number. That means we have to find HCF of smallest prime number 2 and HCF of smallest composite number 4. What is the HCF? We know the prime factors. Then it's easy to calculate HCF of two numbers, right? So which is the common factor? 1 and 2. So 1 is there and then which one? 2, and you have to write the smallest power of the common factor, and here the smallest power is 2 or 2 square 2, right? So 1 into 2, which is equal to 2. So we can say that HCF of 2 and 4 is 2. Friends, next one is an MCQ type question, that is multiple choice question. You will be given 4 options. You have to choose which one is the right answer. So pause the video and try to do this. 120 can be expressed as a product of its prime factors as dash. You have to find the prime factors of 120. Easy one, right? So what are the prime factors of 120? Let's find out. 2, 60, again 2, 30, 2, 15, 3, 5, right? So it can be written as 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 5, right? Is it so, friends? So this can be written as 2 cube into 3 into 5. So 120 can be expressed as a product of its prime factors as 2 cube into 3 into 5. Which option? 2 cube into 3 into 5. Yes, the last option, right? 2 cube into 3 into 5. Or 5 into 2 cube into 3. Or 3 into 5 into 2 cube, right? So option 4th one is the answer. So friends, going to the next one more question. The LCM of two numbers is 182 and their HCF is 13. If one of the numbers is 26, find the other. So it is given that LCM of two numbers, we don't know the numbers, and it is given that one of the numbers is 26. That means one number is 26, the other we don't know. Let it be X. So LCM of two products is equal to, not equal to, into HCF of the two products 26x is equal to the product of that number. As per the formula we know, x into 26. And we know that the LCM of two numbers is 182, right? So LCM of this one, it is 182. So instead of LCM of 26x, we can write it as 182. And HCF of 26x, it is given that 13. Is equal to, if one of the numbers is 26, you have to find the other number. The other number means the unknown number x. You have to calculate. How to calculate? X is equal to 182 into 13 by 26, right? So what is the answer? 13 into 2, it is 26. And 182 is divisible by 2, right? So 91. So the other number is x, we got 91. So we can write, therefore the other number is 91. Got the answer? We got it from the formula LCM of AB into HCF of AB equal to A into B. So what you can conclude from these 1 mark questions? We can realize that 1 mark questions is mainly from the LCM HCF section, right? From the prime factorization section. So we concentrate on that while doing 1 mark questions. Friends, now we can get into the 2 marks questions. And this question is actually OR question in that question paper. And I have written it as 2 questions, okay? Find the HCF of 1260 and 7344 using Euclid's division algorithm, or you can do this one. Show that every positive odd integer is of the form 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3, where q is some integer. Now, do you found the second question anywhere? Did you find this second question similar to any question 4q plus 1 or 4q plus 3? This we have done in our one of our classes. I think it is coming under the topic properties of numbers using Euclid's division algorithm. So go through that video if you don't know how to solve this, okay? This is, or you can refer your textbook, because in our textbook example 3 is this question. That means board exam, in the board exam you can expect textbook questions, right? So this is our textbook example question. So go through that. I think it is example number 3. So refer this question, and we have discussed this question also. So we are solving the first one. Find the HCF of 1260 and 7344 using Euclid's division algorithm. We know the formula, Euclid's lemma, A is equal to BQ plus R for, yes, 0 less than or equal to R less than B, right? And here, what is A and what is B? Here, A is dividend, B is divisor, that you all know. Q is quotient and R is remainder. Here we are solving only the question, that is A can be taken as the largest number. So 7344 is equal to B is 1260, and you have to find what is quotient and what is remainder, right? So 1260 into 2, 0, 12, 5, 1, 2, 2, 5, 2, 0. So we can consider some larger number, right? Into 5 it is 33, 13, 1, 6,300. Okay, what about 1260 into 6? What is the answer? 0, 36, 3, 15, 1, 7. 7560, which is greater than this one. So consider this one, that is 1260 into 5 plus what is remainder? How you will find remainder? 7344 minus 6300, right? So 4401 plus 1044. Now is the remainder 0? No. So you have to consider the divisor and remainder as the next stage, right? That means divisor will be A and here the divisor becomes the remainder, right? So 1260 is equal to 1044 into Q plus remainder. You have to find what is Q and what is R. So 1044 into 2, what is the answer? 880, 2088, which is larger than 1260. So you can write 1044 into 1. Yes, friends. And the remainder will be 1260 minus 1044. 6, 5 minus 4, it is 1. 2 minus 0, it is 2. So plus 260. Now is the remainder 0? Remainder is 216, which is not equal to 0. So you have to take the next step. Step number 3. What is that? 1044 is equal to 216 into quotient plus remainder. Now what is the quotient and what is the remainder? You can check it. 216 into 5, 33, 8, 10, 1080, which is greater than 1044. So we can check for 216 into 4, 5 we checked it. So into 4 it is 24, 2, 6, 4 2s are 8. So you can take 216 into 4 plus what will be the remainder? 1044 minus 864, right? 0, 8, 1 plus 180. Is the remainder 0? No, it is 180. So we can proceed to the next step. 216 is equal to 180 into quotient plus remainder. Now what is the quotient and what is the remainder? 180 into 2, it is 360, which is greater than 216. So we can take 180 into 1 plus what is the remainder? 216 minus 180. What is the remainder? 36, right? So is the remainder 0 in this stage? No, it is not at all 0. It is 36. So again taking 180 is equal to 36 into quotient plus remainder. Now what is the quotient? 36 into 5. What is the answer? 33. 15 plus 3, 18. Yes, 180. So 36 into 5 plus 0. Here the remainder reached 0, right? So what is the HCF? So by using Euclid's algorithm, we can say that HCF of 1260, 7344 is equal to, what is the HCF? The divisor at the final stage, and the divisor at the final stage is 36. So what is the HCF of these two numbers? 36. Going to the next question. Write the smallest number which is divisible by both 306 and 657. You have to find the smallest number, and that number should be divisible by both 306 and 657. So how to find the smallest number which is divisible by both these numbers? In order to find the smallest number, we have to calculate the LCM of these two numbers. Okay. So if the question is like this, that is to find the smallest number which is divisible by n2 numbers, then you have to find the LCM of those two numbers. Okay. So you have to find, so we can write, you have to write step by step in the exam, right? So we can write the smallest number which is divisible by both 306 and 657 is equal to LCM of 306 and 657, right? And now what are the prime factors of 306? 306 can be written as, you have to find the prime factors in order to calculate the LCM, right? So 306, which can be written as 2, 3, right? And what about this one? 3, 5, 1. Again 3, 17, right? So this can be written as 2 into 3 into 3 into 17, which can be written as 2 into 3 square into 17. Now what about the prime factors of 657? 657, 3, again 3, yeah, up to this, right? So we can write it as 3 into 3 into 73, which is equal to 3 square into 73. Got it? And you know that how to find a number which is divisible by 3. How to find out? For example, 153 is divisible by 3. How we find that this one is divisible by 3? By adding the digits of these numbers. 1 plus 5, 6. 6 plus 3, 9. And 9 is divisible by 3. So we can say that 153 is divisible by 3. Again, 657, it is divisible by 3. How to find this? 6 plus 5, it is 11. 11 plus 7, it is 18. And that 18 is divisible by 3. So like that, you have to find whether the given number is divisible by 3 or not. Okay? And if the last digit of a number is an even number, then it is definitely divisible by 2. So we got the prime factors of 306 and 657. Now we have to find the LCM of these two numbers. We know that to calculate the LCM of these two numbers, right? The highest power of each prime factor is involved in the numbers, right? So which is the highest power of 3 square? Here also 3 square, here also 3 square, right? So we can write 2 into 3 into 3 into 17 into 73 is the LCM of these two numbers. So 3 3s are 9. 9 into 2 it is 18. You have to calculate 18 into 17 into 73. What is the answer? What is 18 into 17? 18 into 17 it is 56, 5, 12, 18, 11, 6, 306, right? And what about 306 into 73? 306 into 73, 18, 1, 9, 42, 4, 21, right? So 8, 3, 3, 2, 2. So the answer is 2, 2, 3, 3, 8. So we can say that you have to write in the last step as therefore the smallest number which is divisible by both 306 and 657 is equal to 2, 2, 3, 3, 8. Next question is related to prove the irrationality of the given number. The question is given that root 2 is irrational, given that root 2 is irrational. So we have to prove that 5 plus 3 root 2 is an irrational number. We know how to solve this. How? First, let us assume to the contrary that, right? Let us assume, now you know the steps very well, right? Let us assume to the contrary that this number, that is 5 plus 3 root 2 is rational, right? So to prove their irrationality, we first assume that it is rational. Then we can find integers R and S where S not equal to 0 such that, how we can write? 5 plus 3 root 2 is equal to R by S, right? Now suppose R and S have a common factor other than 1, right? Suppose R and S have a common factor other than 1. Then what will we do? Then we divide by that common factor, right? Then we divide by the common factor to get, then we divide by the common factor to get this one, that is 5 plus 3 root 2 is equal to A by B. Got it? First we are assuming that 5 plus 3 root 2 is rational, then we can find integers R and S where S not equal to 0 such that R by S P by Q form equal to 5 plus 3 root 2. Now we are assuming that R and S have a common factor other than 1, so as to divide by that common factor to get 5 plus 3 root 2 equal to A by B, right? Where A and B are co-prime. We discussed the term co-prime. Is it, friends? Where A and B are co-prime. Now cross multiplying, we have to find the value of root 2, okay? So we know that from here 3 root 2 is equal to A by B minus 5, right? we moved 5 to that side. So 3 root 2 is equal to a by b minus 5, which can be written as a minus 5b by b. Is it so? From here, root 2 value is equal to a minus 5b by 3b. Got it? Where, since we can say that a, b, 3 and 5 are positive integers, right? Since a, b, 3 and 5 are positive integers, they are rational. That is, a, b, 3, 5 are positive integers and rational number of the form p by q form, right? So LHS must be also a rational. So we can say that root 2 is, since RHS is rational, LHS root 2 is rational. This contradicts the fact, but root 2 is, but given that root 2 is irrational, right? But it is given that root 2 is irrational. So we can say that this contradiction has arisen. This contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption, right? Our assumption was not correct because of our incorrect assumption. That, what was our incorrect assumption? That this number, that is 5 plus 3 root 2 is rational. Therefore, we can conclude that this number, that is 5 plus 3 root 2 is irrational, or it is an irrational number. So the question is to prove. So you have to write in the last step as hence proved. Got it? Going to the next question. Check whether 6 raised to n can end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. This is also an OR question, or you have to find the LCM of 150 and 200. Now the first question. Did you see this question anywhere? We done the same question, right? We discussed the same question in our class. This is nothing but, this question is from our textbook itself. I think it is exercise 1.2, question number 5. The same question which is asked from our textbook. So you can expect textbook question. Okay friends, so I am not doing this because we already done this question. So I am going to wrap this. Now we can do the next question, that is to find the LCM of 150 and 200. So in order to find the LCM of two numbers, first we have to find the prime factors of each number. So 150 can be written as, its prime factors are 275, again 3, 25, 5, 5. So we can write it as 2 into 3 into 5 into 5, which can be written as 2 into 3 into 5 square. So the prime factors of 5 are 2, 3 and 5 square, right? And what about the prime factors of 200? 200 can be written as 250, again 225, then 5, 5. So which is equal to 2 into 2 into 2 into 5 into 5, right? Which can be written as 2 cube into 5 square, right? So we got the prime factors of these two numbers. Now we know the formula. You have to write the formula in the exam. That is LCM of two numbers, AB equal to the greatest, right? The product of the greatest power of each prime factor involved in the numbers. That is, here LCM of 150 and 200 is equal to product of the greatest power of each prime factor involved in the number. So what about 2 and 2 cube? The greatest power is 2 cube, right? And what about 3? No, 3 is there. So 3 into what about 5? Here it is 5 square. Here also it is 5 square. So into 5 square. So what about 2 cube? It is 8. Into 3 into 5 square it is 25. And we know 25 into 8, what is the answer? 400, right? Not 400, 200. And we know 25 into 8 it is 200. So 200 into 3 it is 600. So LCM of these two numbers 150 and 200 is 600. Next question again, proving irrationality. Show that 5 plus 2 root 7 is an irrational number where root 7 is given to be an irrational number. So I'm not writing all the steps. I'm just giving you some of the steps. First, assume to the contrary that 5 plus 2 root 7 is rational. Therefore, we can write 5 plus 2 root 7 is equal to r by s form, right? Whereas not equal to 0. Now, suppose r and s have common factor other than 1, then we divide by that common factor to get 5 plus 2 root 7 is equal to a by b, right? Where a and b are coprime. And from here we can find out the value of root 7, right? 2 root 7 is equal to going 5 to the other side, a by b minus 5, which can be written as a minus 5b by b. So that root 7 is equal to a minus 5b by 2b. Here a, b, 2 and 5 are positive integers and are of the form p by q. So we can say that RHS is rational. Therefore LHS root 7 must be rational. But here it is given that root 7 is an irrational. So root 7 must be rational. But it is given that root 7 is an irrational number. Therefore this contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption that 5 plus 2 root 7 is rational. Therefore we can conclude that 5 plus 2 root 7 is an irrational number. Hence proved. Going to the next question. Check whether 12 raised to n can end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. We done questions related to 4 raised to n and 6 raised to n. Here the question is 12 raised to n asked in the board exam. So similar to those two questions, that is 4 raised to n and 6 raised to n. See here, if the number or if the numbers 12 raised to n were to end with the digit 0, if 12 raised to n were to end with the digit 0, it should be divisible by 5, right? It should be divisible by 5. But is it possible? However, or but, the prime factors of 12 are 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3. Why? Because you have to write this one, 12 raised to n, right? So 12, its prime factors are 2 into 2 into 3. That means its prime factors are 2 and 3. So we can say that it does not contain the prime 5. It does not contain the prime number 5. So by the uniqueness, so you have to write this word, okay? So you have to write this sentence. So by the uniqueness of the fundamental theorem. So by the uniqueness of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic guarantees that there are no other primes in 12 raised to n except 2 and 3, right? Therefore, we can say that the number 12 raised to n cannot end with the digit 0 for any natural number, and you have to repeat that sentence. Okay, understood? So if the number 12 raised to n to be end with the digit 0, it should be divisible by 5. But the prime factors of 12 are 2 and 3, because 2 into 2 into 3 it is 12. It does not contain the prime number 5. So by the uniqueness of the fundamental theorem of arithmetic guarantees that there are no other primes except 2 and 3 in the number 12 raised to n. Therefore, 12 raised to n cannot end with the digit 0 for any natural number n. Now friends, going to the 3 marks questions. See, the first question is prove that root 2 is an irrational number. That is the theorem itself in our textbook. So we have done the solution of this. Go through that. This is the theorem 1.4 in our textbook. So study that. This is very, very important. Prove that root 2 is an irrational number. It is repeatedly asking in the exam. Now, the second question of 3 marks is prove that minus 2 plus root 3 by 5 is an irrational number, given that root 3 is an irrational number. Similar to the above, the previously done problems. I'm not writing the steps, I'm just saying. That is, first you have to assume that minus 2 plus root 3 by 5 is a rational number. So that we can find integers r and s such that minus 2 plus root 3 by 5 is equal to r by s, whereas not equal to 0. Suppose r and s have a common factor other than 1, then by dividing with that common factor to get minus 2 plus root 3 by 5 is equal to a by b, where a and b are coprime. Okay, where a and b are coprime. Now from here we have to find the value of root 3, right friends? So minus 2 plus root 3 is equal to cross multiplying 5a by b. Moving 5 to this side. So 5a by B. Got it? Now root 3 is equal to minus 2 is moving to the other side, so that is equal to 5a by b. Minus 2 becomes plus 2, which is equal to 5a plus 2b by b. Got it? And here a, b, 2 and 5 are positive integers and is of the form p by q. Therefore 5a plus 2b by b is a rational number. So that we can say that root 3 must be rational, because RHS is rational, LHS must be rational. But it is given that root 3 is an irrational number. Given that root 3 is an irrational number. So this contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption that minus 2 plus root 3 by 5 is rational. Therefore, we can conclude that minus 2 plus root 3 by 5 is irrational. Hence, proved. Again, similar question. Prove that 2 plus 5 root 3 is an irrational number, given that root 3 is an irrational number. Same procedure. Assume to the contrary that 2 plus 5 root 3 is rational. So that we can find integers r and s. So that we can write 2 plus 5 root 3 is equal to r by s, whereas not equal to 0. Suppose r and s have a common factor other than 1. So as to dividing by that common factor to get, we will get 2 plus 5 root 3 is equal to a by b, where b not equal to 0 and a and b are co-prime, right? Now from here we get the value of root 3, right? So 5 root 3 is equal to a by b minus 2, moving 2 to the other side, so that we will get a minus 2b by b. Now root 3 is equal to a minus 2b divided by 5b, right? Here a, b, 2, 5 are positive integers and is of the form p by q, so that we can say that a minus 2b by 5b is rational. Therefore root 3 is rational, but it is given that root 3 is an irrational number. So this contradiction has arisen because of our incorrect assumption that 2 plus 5 root 3 is rational. Therefore we can conclude that 2 plus 5 root 3 is irrational. Hence proved. This is an OR question to the previous question. And the question is, using Euclid's division algorithm, find the HCF of these two numbers 2048 and 960. See, 2048 can be written as A is, we know the formula A is equal to BQ plus R, 40 less than or equal to R less than B, right? And here A is 2048, the largest number, that is the dividend, and divisor B is 960 into quotient plus remainder. We don't know what is quotient and what is remainder. Let's check it. 960 into 5, it is 4800, which is largest number. So 960 into 3, 2880, which is also larger one. So 960 into 2, 1920. So we can write 960 into 2 plus what is the remainder? 2048 minus 960 into 2, it is 1920, right? So 821, 128. So here the remainder is 128, not 0. So you have to write the next step. What is the next step? Taking 960 as A and B as the remainder, that is 128. So 960 is equal to 128 into quotient plus remainder. What is the quotient? Let's check it. 128 into 5, it is 44, 14, 1, 640. What about 128 into 6? 48, 4, 16, 1, 768. What about 128 into 8? 64, 6, 16, 22, 2. It is 1024. What about 128 into 7? 56, 5, 19, 1, 178, 896. So we can take 128 into 7. And what is the remainder? How to find the remainder? 960 minus 128 into 7. 128 into 7, it is 896, right? So what is the remainder? 4. Then here it is 15. 15 minus 9, it is 6. Then 0, right? So 64. Now again, is the remainder 0? No. The remainder is 64. Now taking 128 as A and B as 64. So 64 into 2, it is 128, right? 4 2s are 8, 6 2s are 12. So 64 into 2 plus 0. That means in step number 3, we reach the remainder of 0. So we can say that the divisor at this final stage is the HCF of 2048 and 960. So that we can write HCF of 2048 and 960 is equal to 64. Got it, friends? Friends, this is another 3-mark question. Find the LCM and HCF of 404 and 96. Also verify that LCM into HCF is equal to product of the given two numbers. Easy question, right? So first we have to find the prime factors of 404 and 96, right? So 404 can be written like this, right? 202, then 2101, then yes, that's all right. So it can be written as 2 into 2 into 101, which is equal to 2 square into 101, right? And what about 96? Its prime factors are 2, 8 again by 2, 24 again by 2, again by 2, 6, again by 2, 3, right? So it can be written as 2 into 2 into how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 2 into 2 into 2 into 3, which can be written as 2 raised to 5 into 3, right? And now LCM of 404 and 96 is, you have to write the definition, product of the greatest factor of each prime factor involved in the numbers, of product of the greatest power of each prime factor involved in the numbers. And what is it? 2 square and 2 raised to 5, which is the greatest power. Having the greatest power is 2 raised to 5 into 3 into 101. And what is 2 raised to 5? 32. 32 into 101 into 3, it is 303, right? And what about 303 into 32? 606 909. 6969. So LCM we got 9696, right? Now we have to find the HCF. HCF of 404 and 96. It is the product of the lowest power, right, of common prime factor, right? And which is the common prime factor? 2. 2, and here it is 2 raised to 5 into 3. Here it is 2 square into 101, right? And about 2 square and 2 raised to 5, compare it, 2 square. Product of the power of smallest power of the common factor. And 101, 3 we are not taking, right? So 2 square it is 4. So HCF we got 4 and LCM we got 9696. Now we have to verify whether product of this two is equal to product of the given two numbers. See, product of LCM into HCF, it is 9696 into 4. 9696 into 4, it is 24, 2, 36, 38, remainder 3, 24, 27, 2, 36, 38, 38784 we got as the product of LCM and HCF. Now, product of the given two numbers, 404 into 96, what is the answer? 24, 2, 24, 36, 3, 36, 4, 8, 7, 8, 3, 3, 8, 7, 8, 4. That means LHS is equal to RHS, or LCM into HCF is equal to product of the given two numbers, hence verified. And going to the last two questions. Are you familiar with these two questions? Absolutely yes, right? Why? Because this we have done. Both the questions are from our textbook, and this is example 9 to prove root 3 is an irrational number. So proving root 2 and root 3 is very, very important. Study that. And this one also use Euclid's division lemma to show that the square of any positive integer is of the form 3q or 3q plus 1 for some integer q. This question is also from our textbook. In our textbook it is the from exercise 1.1 fourth question I think, and there it is written as instead of 3q and 3q plus 1, 3m and 3m plus 1. Instead of q they have written m. That's the only difference. So refer the solutions of these questions. So that's all friends. We have done with the previous year questions covering almost all the important topics from the chapter real numbers. So you must be aware, or you must study thoroughly the textbook questions, example questions as well as exercise questions, and do extra questions like this. I'm sure that this video is definitely helpful for you. Do not forget to subscribe the channel and share it with your friends who are preparing for class 10 exam. Now we can see in the next video, and in the next class we are going to discuss the very next chapter, that is polynomials. It's a very interesting topic. See you friends in the next video. Till then, have a good day and thank you.